What's going on, everybody? I'm Quest for Nostalgia. I'm a YouTube content creator and I stream variety games over on Twitch. This video is why I left Xbox after 17 years. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching another video. If you guys don't mind, please try to stay till the end. It really helps me out, and that's how YouTube decides to share me with other people. So hopefully you guys stick around. But this video is about how I decided to leave Xbox after 17 years over on that console. And so I want to start with how I came over to the Xbox console. When I was in, I think it was 8th grade, my dad got me a copy of Halo 2. And it was back in the hype of, waiting out line for games and when you could still do things like that. And he got in line for Halo 2 and he bought me Halo 2. I didn't have an Xbox. So he was like, what, you don't have an Xbox? So we went out and we got an Xbox. So you see the original Xbox over here. Little did I know that that controller was going to completely take me over and steal me from GameCube, from PlayStation, and just completely lock me down for the next 17 years. A lot of that was because of that game, Halo 2. Halo 2 was such a fun game. We would take our giant CRTs, which are the boob tube TVs, over to each other's houses. We'd system link all of our Xboxes together, and we would play, Halo 2 just non-stop throughout the night. And it was so much fun when we were in middle school and into high school and things like that. And so that just sparked a fast love for that console. I mean, it just elevated and skyrocketed so much there by having that. There's also a little franchise called Red vs. Blue. If you've seen that, that's where they did skits from the characters of Halo 2 and things like that, and they turned it into a little show. I used to record my own. I would set an Xbox up and plug it into my VCR, and I would give that guy active camouflage, and that became my cameraman. So he was invisible and you just see his little reticle, and that was my cameraman. And I would system link to another Xbox, and that would be my actors. I've had 4 little characters over there, and I'd have them go do things, and I would record it with my VHS player hitting record, through the VHS tapes. And so super fun times, and that really sparked such a love of the Xbox. The controller felt so right. If you saw my previous video about, best controller, I mentioned the Xbox controller. I loved it so much. And then it just stemmed from there, right? It just kept going. The Xbox 360 was fantastic. Halo 3, we had, tons of time editing maps, and things like that. We had so much gaming going on through Halo 3, through the COD series, Modern Warfare. They were so great, and that's not necessarily exclusive, but it had Xbox Live. And Xbox Live was light years ahead of the PlayStation Network's Live. That was a free system there. The partying wasn't as great and not nearly as good as how it was to be on Xbox Live. And so Xbox Live made me stay over there. I was like, I'm a multiplayer gamer. I'm a person that's playing all these first-person shooters, and that's what I care about, right? And so it just continued on that path. And then I made it over to the Xbox One here as well. And this is where it started to fall apart. So I still stayed on the Xbox One for a very long time. Didn't even look at the PlayStation 4 or anything like that. And it was still because I loved the Xbox Live multiplayer there. I still just kept going Call of Duty. So you see how small this little collection is over here. I have a lot of digital games for the Xbox One, shockingly. But most of it is just whatever Call of Duty came out that year, and then the Halos and things like that. And I honestly think my friend group at the time also killed this console for me. We were playing a lot of the multiplayer games, the free games like, Fortnite. We played a crap ton of Fortnite, and that was fantastic for a while. And then there's all these other battle royales, Apex, and then we got the Modern Warfare versions of those as well. And I found myself getting really tired of doing the same thing again and again. Back in the day, I could play Halo 2 again and again. I could play Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 I played a million times, and you would play the maps very similar every time. I just found myself like, after just winning and winning, it was like, well, what's left? And then my friend group also started playing these endless games on Game Pass, like Arc and things like that. And I was not into that. It was another thing where it was like, it just goes on and on and on. GTA 5, it was just like going on and on and on. There was no real goal or anything like that. It was just playing endlessly. And that started to make me think like, what am I kind of want something that has a little bit more to it, or an end, rather. And then as you get older as well, it's harder and harder to start partying up with your friends. And so you're playing games more by yourself, which was the first time for me. I was always just partying up. I never had to play games by myself. And that's when my eyes kind of shifted towards looking at the PS4. And when I saw the PS4, I saw these titles of games like things like Ni no Kuni and Ni no Kuni 2, which are JRPGs. I had never been into JRPGs, and it was like, oh, wow, that looks cool. The Spider-Man game, I was like, wow, that looks really cool. Horizon, all these games. And I was like, man, those look like they have some really interesting stories to them. And so it kind of sparked my interest. And then VR. VR took me by storm. And oh my gosh, I fell so in love with VR. When you find something good like that, it's like all you want to talk about. And I was just like, why is VR not in every system? Why is VR not in every home? I loved it so, so much. And I still do. I still really love VR. I can't believe, being immersed in these worlds and seeing the scale of some of these things like Skyrim and things like that. Again, gave me that excitement that I got with Halo 2. I told you I fell hard and fast for Xbox, and so with VR, I fell hard and fast for PlayStation. And I got it at a time as well where it was so late in the PlayStation's life. I got mine in 2020 during the pandemic. And there was all these sales of, buy two, get two at, the gaming store and things like that. And they were $10 games. So I was getting 4 games for like $20. And they were, these launch titles and things like that, but they were great games. The Uncharted, The Last of Us, like I said, Spider-Man's and things like that. There were so many games. God of War 2018, so many games I was getting and flushing out the collection. And now you're seeing my PlayStation collection, which is just massive within 1 year. Like I haven't even had the PlayStation a year yet, and it exploded, but it showed you how much I fell in love with this console. There's just so many exclusives that now I've found, since I'm shifting towards story games and things like that, playing by myself, the lack of things like that over in the Xbox. Cutscenes and things like that are in these games, and it just feels amazing to play, this awesome gameplay and then have a cool movie to go around with it. It was just like, man, these are things that I completely forgot about when I was playing PlayStation originally. The Metal Gear Solids and things like that, and that they had these cutscenes already on PlayStation. They started out with these full motion videos on the PS1, and then you get to, now the PlayStation. It was like, wow, the storytelling on PlayStation is amazing. And so that really got me over there. This final thing that has kind of cemented me to stay with PlayStation over Xbox is not even just these exclusives, because I know Xbox is going to work on their exclusivity, but the games with gold and the PlayStation monthly games are in complete separate leagues. PlayStation gives these first party titles, they gave Final Fantasy VII Remake for free. And that's just wow. They did these stay-at-home orders where they gave you games that like you don't have to have the subscription. They're like, no, these are for you. Here's Ratchet and Clank. Here's Horizon Zero Dawn for you for free. And it was like, we want you to have these. And their monthly games are just real games. Xbox games with gold are terrible. They almost give you nothing all the time, and it'll be like fake numbers. It'll give you this terrible indie marketplace game that no one's ever bought, and it'll have $60 slashed through it and then say, free or whatever. It's like, nobody wanted to pay $60 for that ever. I don't think anybody's probably bought that game, and you're now throwing it into the Xbox games with gold, and so you're really not getting a library. Sometimes the Xbox 360 games that they give you are decent, but overall the value of those are nothing compared to what the PlayStation value of games are. They're just amazing. And so it's like I really see the love of the company going there. And then when you look at the PS5 and you see things like they're doing with the DualSense controller, haptic feedback, really improving and innovating with things like that, it's like it's so easy to see how I want to be in this console, how I want to be with this company here, and what they're doing with storytelling, what they're doing with immersion, with getting you into the gaming, like I said, with that controller. And I just think that I'm now going to be on PlayStation for here on out. It's like there may be a few exclusives on Xbox that I may end up having to just because I do still have a love for them. But really, it's like my Xbox One is up there. I haven't plugged it in since I've had the PlayStation. That's crazy. To unplug a console and then just leave it. I didn't see it coming, but I'm telling you, I love it so much, and it's been a great ride. I'm experiencing so many awesome story games that I've never experienced before, and things that you can't have over on the Xbox. I hope this video was fun for you. It was fun for me to make, and I wanted to share a little bit about this crazy twist of events that has happened. I didn't see this coming, and now I'm just really, really loving the PlayStation. Hopefully you've made it to the end. Thank you so much. I love you so much for doing that. It really does help the channel out. It allows me to get shared when, this whole YouTube algorithm thing gets crazy. You got to focus on a little bit of stuff like that. But the viewership here, I love you so much. Thank you for helping me out. Follow on Instagram. Come hang out on Twitch. You can come chat with me. You can come see these exclusives that I'm playing and things like that, and come hang out there. We do a lot of fun things. We also play retro games. We play GameCube and SNES and things like that. But yeah, come hang out over there for that. Do all the YouTube things like comment, subscribe, share it with anybody that you know that likes gaming or things like that, or somebody that maybe you're trying to get over to Xbox, or tell me how I'm completely wrong in the comments. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. But thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. Peace.